Hey everyone, Aussie Viking here to talk about Halo 5 and why Halo 5 is not only one of the best FPS shooters of the year, it's one of the best FPS shooters I have played in a long time. So, first of all, let's look at it like this. Gameplay, amazing. And this is by far the most fun Halo I've ever played, but also one of the most fun in terms of gameplay for an FPS. You don't feel bogged down by the movement. It is fast and responsive. You don't feel bogged down like you're too slow. You don't feel like you're bugged down because everything's too fast or whatever. It is on point perfection in how this game handles. And the AI, level design, and everything else just comes together and it's beautiful. Now, let's talk about how the things moves, alright? So, people will just like, holy crap, aim down sights. Now, not all guns truly aim down sights. What I mean by that is sometimes it does a whole old school type of thing where it just zooms in with the gun and you have like a hologram that shows you where to shoot and all that, where you're shooting. Not really aim down sights. And it works. I mean, it's a more futuristic aim down sights, and to me, it works a lot better than the other FPSs. Two, you do not lose your momentum. So if you are shooting at something and you aim down the sights, you do not lose momentum like other games and you go slower. You're the same speed flowing through. And three, really, you do not need to use it. I've played this game through the campaign without using it once. So you do not need to use it. You can if you want, don't get me wrong. And it can be fun at times. There's just sometimes where you just want to play like old school Halo, and you can. Also, the abilities. Running, fine. It was fine in Reach, it was fine in Halo 4, I thought so. Nothing really to complain about. Except now that when you get shot, your shields don't recharge until you stop sprinting, which is a good, I think it's only multiplayer only, but that's a good respect sort of balance of it. Second of all, the sliding. Truthfully, in the canon, Spartans can slide. It's fine. I think the sliding is great, it's very helpful, especially when you run, slide, thruster pack. Fine. Thruster packs. Well, if you are a canon fan, thruster packs were used by Spartans since the beginning, basically. And it's a smart thing to have, truthfully. And they were in Halo 4, and technically jetpacks were in Halo Reach. Technically Halo 3 if you count the enemies. Wasn't it actually Halo 2? Didn't they have any in there? Anyway, yes. The frustrating people are like, oh, it's like Advanced Warfare. First of all, like I said, Reach, and Halo 4 had them as armaments, so it works fine, I think anyway. What else? Ground Pound, I think is amazing. It is something that Spartans would do, and it is something that would cause a lot of pain considering a giant Spartan with massive armor, I think 1,000 tons or whatever, or 100 tons, I don't know. Or a ton, 1 ton maybe. It's a big powerful armor. Smashing down you, well, the effects are pretty obvious, and that's basically how it goes. And that's about it that I can think of that people are complaining about. It all works flawlessly, and it makes Halo 5 one of the funnest FPS I've played in years. And I've played this game reminds me of old school, from Quake 3, Doom, Half-Life, you know, many more that I can't name because right now it's almost Christmas and I'm very tired. And yeah, it's really just a great FPS. It's got its faults, but gameplay wise, I can't give it any. The 60 frames per second is amazing. It works well, and it's flawless in the gameplay department for me. As an FPS goes, it's one of the best I've played, and I've played through this game like 3-4 times, especially campaign wise, and I'm having fun each and every time I do it. Although in this footage you're seeing right now, it's like easier or normal because I just finished the game on the Legendary, and after that, I really just want to be able to just go in and kill them without even thinking about dying. So there's that. Also, gameplay wise, was in campaign, telling your squad mates where to go. Not a real big deal, especially for me, because I love Republic Commando, and this just screams Republic Commando because they had one of the lead designers of Republic Commando in Halo 5 as a designer, which is great. I think it works, especially if you read the books and how all Spartans were in a fire team. I think it works well, and honestly, if you were to give Halo Reach the gameplay, remake it and have like the gameplay of Halo 5, Halo Reach would probably be the best Halo, at least for me. Halo 4. Halo 4 was amazing too. That story was just great. And that was really all the gameplay changes that they did that people thought, oh, it's a bit iffy. But other than that, it worked fine. Now, the next part is level design. Level design is great. It's not as big as you'd expect it, but it's very vertical. And there's many places you can go that are secretly locked away. I've gone through this campaign a couple times, 3-4 times, and I'm still finding areas that you can just go into. You can actually bypass fighting completely, well, almost completely. So there's a bit where there's a giant shield up in one of the levels. You can either destroy the shield, destroy the generator powering the shield, or you can go underneath the shield and get out like that. Now I didn't know about the underneath thing until one day I went a different route. I went left, went right, I went in the middle, and usually when I go left, right, or up, this time I went down, and there was a little hole thing that I could hit. Hit it, went inside, and found out, hey, there's an easier, faster way to get in. Did that, and yeah, speedsters, basically, to get through the game faster, which is fair enough. It's a faster game. But the level design is just great. It's open. It's got areas that are linear, but have many ways to go: left, right, up, down, left, and so forth, and many secrets. And then it's got the big open areas where you've got vehicles and many other things. Could it be bigger? Yes, but to be honest, this is the first game they made on next gen. I'm pretty sure next Halo game, whenever it is, in the main series, is going to be a lot better. And I think this is the best way to go. This sort of level design. Give us, like from Halo CE, give us basically levels that are like the Silent Cartographer. Give us that. And by that I mean, give us a giant level that we can go around in, and just a giant sandbox basically. And they've done it with their other games, but they've been very condensed. But if they can do it within the next Halo game similar, basically take Halo 5 gameplay and level design as in verticality, and then take the Silent Cartographer. Mash it together, and that is the pinnacle of, for me anyway, the pinnacle of great level design for Halo, and I hope that's exactly what they do next. We'll have to wait and see, but they're going in the right direction. 343 is going in the right direction, very Metal Gear Solid-ish. Metal Gear Solid, all the other Metal Gear Solids had big, multiple ways, but they were condensed. Metal Gear Solid 5, bam, huge, big. It's exactly where I hope Halo goes. It might have to take a while, but I reckon it could happen. Next, graphics. Well, they look great. They're not going to be the best because of 60 frames a second on a console. You are not going to get the best looking game ever at 60 frames a second on a console. It'll look amazing, it'll look great, but it won't look the best. It won't look like a generation ahead. That's not going to happen as long as it's 60 frames a second, but since the game is so fun at 60 frames, it is perfect the way it is. The next part is very hit or miss for many people. The story. Now, first of all, Halo 4 had the best story in the Halo series so far. It has one of the best stories in gaming, to me at least, character development wise and such, so far. It's especially accentuated if you're a fan of Halo. So there's that, and I'm a big fan of Halo, which I'm sure many people are just saying you're an idiot because you like Halo 5 a lot and whatever, but really make your own opinions up. I can still find faults with the game. Now, the big faults I have with the story is it doesn't really finish. It feels like Halo 2 where it just has a cliffhanger, but here's the thing, it also, unlike, well, exactly like Halo 2, it feels like they had to cut something. And I feel like 343 basically just went, okay, so here's what we're going to do. Halo 5 is going to be a big game, so we're going to cut it in half, which I reckon they did. They cut it in half and they went, alright, we'll add this, or add the next half, the last half of Halo, either put it as a comic, or an animated series, or into Halo Wars 2, or into an expansion, or we'll just morph it and put it into the next Halo 6. Because originally this was supposed to be a trilogy, 4, 5, and 6. Now it's a quadrilogy, or a saga. So it's going to be a lot more. Which, to me, kind of, it pisses me off because Halo's story is going somewhere big. And it was actually, Halo 5's story was good. It just wasn't as good as it could have been. Now, what do I mean by this? First of all, spoilers, of course. Cortana's back. Now, when I finished Halo 4, I was very upset about her death, but I knew she was going to come back. But it wasn't going to be her. So what I mean by this? Well, in the canon, they're AI. And basically, common sense, they are an AI. An AI that can transfer their data and basically still be alive, sort of thing. Hard to kill an AI when you think about it. Now, in Halo 4, there was many foreshadowing that she could have been saved, especially in the first level. She could have been saved, and she would have been fine, almost-ish. Except, and if you looked around and got this, you were just like, oh, maybe she won't die because they've got foreshadowing that she could survive, and she dies. Thing is, you could tell that she was going to come back for Halo 5, and by that I mean, in Halo and Halo 4, she separates herself into hundreds upon hundreds of different forms, different copies of herself. And when she says the line, the rest of me is down there in the ship, only held enough to get you off the ship, I thought she's still alive, but not really. So Cortana, that you see in Halo 5, is Cortana, but it's not the Cortana that you know, or we know. It's a copy of her that's rampant still, or is being controlled by someone stronger than her, and yeah, it's not real. It has the memories and the emotions of the original Cortana, but it's not the real Cortana. I mean, you can say this is a big, like, oh yeah, but that's fucking stupid, because it doesn't follow the rules of storytelling, or if it does, it does it differently, yada yada yada. Here's the thing. 343 could play off this amazingly. Imagine Halo 6 or whatever the hell next one's going to be, because apparently they want to move away from, numbered sequels. Imagine the next Halo that the Chief is on another world and he meets Cortana again, and it's the same dialogue as it was in Halo 5. Chief, oh my god, it's you. And he's like, what? But you were... she ends up in Halo 5. And then you find out that, no, this copy was just transported here somehow, and it woke here, Imagine if there was a whole lot of copies, and Chief had to deal with that emotionally, His Cortana was truly dead, and this one, even though he's understood that this Cortana is different, he now fully understands that it's not her. That could work well. I think that would work perfectly, to an extent, but we'll see where it goes. Now, many people don't think it could go any good because of Brian Reed, the writer. He didn't really write Halo 4. Halo 4 had another lead writer, and he helped write it, but he didn't fully write Halo 4. Now, Reed isn't that bad of a writer. He's not the best, but he's not the worst. And what I say is that he's really good at writing character dialogue. And what I mean by that is, in Halo 5, there's a cutscene where you have Cyrus before they attack San Helios, and there's a very human moment where Buck's like, Tanaka, you say a few words, and the way that scene is done is very well done, and the writing is great. It's very human. It's very, very human, and I love that scene. And there's some great dialogue during the other levels, the ones that you walk around, which was a good addition. It could be better, but it was a great addition where you could just walk around and soak in the universe. I hope they do better next time. And you have, during these moments, and even gameplay, the quiet stuff of gameplay, you'd have the characters talk to each other. And there was some great writing. The downside with this was, and this was something that I'm sure everybody was thinking about, is not everyone is going to take their time so they can hear these. Now what I mean by that is, gameplay was so fun that every time I finished a fight I just wanted to get into the next one and do something different. But if I did that, then the dialogue that triggers, because you have to kind of wait around a bit for the dialogue to trigger, it won't trigger. And I've missed a few things as well that I've heard people say, like Blue Team talking about Osiris and all that, and I haven't heard anything like that in gameplay. So there's those things. I think if they were to speed it up, maybe, in different intervals, it would work better. But again, that's kind of a player thing. But even then, it worked well. The only downside is it's not all fully explained properly. The extended stuff into the game and how it all connects. Now, in Halo 5, it does get better, the story. And what I mean by that is the data pads that you could collect, or data recordings you could collect, they actually give a good backstory to what's going on, and you have to kind of connect the dots. The downside of this is not everyone's going to collect them, not everyone's going to care, and some of them kind of make sense, some of them don't. And I can understand that. I think that's something that needs to be fixed, but it does make Halo 5's story easier to follow. It still ends on a cliffhanger though, it still ends with you wanting more, and it still ends with the whole, it doesn't really follow the story of Chief and Locke fighting each other. And you can tell stuff was cut out, 3 levels for Blue Team, which were okay, well done sort of thing. They were okay, character-wise. And the rest being Osiris. I mean, I like Osiris, but I wanted more Blue Team, because I've read about them for years, and Blue Team's just awesome. What they did with Blue Team though kind of worked. So there's a bit when you're on Genesis, which is like the 4th, 5th, oh, maybe not. It's a level, like 6th level then. Sorry. So you're in this level, and you've got Chief talking about the world and stuff, and then Kelly comes in. I think it was Kelly that says, "I've never had an AI before. What's it like?" "It's different," Chief replies. And then Kelly asks, "Care to elaborate?" And Chief just smacks it and says, "No." A lot of people saying that's bad writing. It's not bad writing if you come from Chief's point of view. Now, not many people do this, and trust me, it's something that a lot of people I've told too, just like, yeah, get fucked. But you gotta look at it from his side of the point of view. He's still, he's still just destroyed by her death, and all of a sudden she's still alive, sort of thing. He can't really feel to his other Spartans, because if you know the Halo lore, he is very close to his other Spartans, and if he tells them something's wrong, there's a good chance he'd tell them. Not all the time, but there's a good chance that he did and would. But he doesn't at this moment, and that, if you understand his character, or of course you have to be an extended lore person, you understand that there's more going on in his head than you think. And the downside is, it's not as clear to us, the audience, than it could be, which is why I think 343 needs to learn to do like a codex, such in Mass Effect or The Witcher. That's something I think they need to do. A codex sort of thing which gives you history, backstory, so on. Now, an idea in-game that I had was, you could open up a menu and you could choose Osiris or Blue Team. You click on, say, Blue Team, and you click on Fred. It gives him his full name, his date of birth, the planet he grew up on, and then a whole, like, contents of writing of who he is. And you can click a button and the character himself, so the man who voices Fred, starts talking. So it's Fred basically talking about himself, saying, "I was born on this planet, I was instructed into the Spartan program at the age of 6, our first day of training was this and this, I hated this Spartan, but I found courage in this Spartan," sort of thing. Then he starts talking about what he felt during these moments. And then as you grow older, over the year, you can have different timelines and say, okay, what did he do in 2052? In 2052, I was brought back to Earth, and then I had to get shot off with Kelly and such, with Kelly and Dr. Halsey to go to Ghost of Onyx, to go to Onyx, where Kurt was, and Spartan 3s were training, and this is what I felt, and they were good warriors, To me, this is an idea that shows you other canon stories that have happened, such as First Strike, Ghost of Onyx, and it gives you their view of it, but it also gives what they were feeling. So it gives you character, it gives you story, and it gives you all the rest. To me, that's what I think Halo needs and would work well. But that's my view on it. Multiplayer side, it's great. Not much to say. It's fun. It's great. I'm more of a campaign sort of guy, but yeah. And those are my views on why Halo 5, to me, is one of the best FPSs I've played in a long time. Could it be better? God, yes. But for what we got and what we have, I think it's fine. Anyway, Aussie Viking out. Bye.
Is that it? Where are we? What the?
Activate mag boost.
Like standing on the side of a skyscraper. This is bad.
We'll be fine.
Chief's down there, huh?
Let's find out. Spartan Jameson Lock broadcasting on all UNSC frequencies. Sierra 117, please respond.
Guardian's moving.
Get moving. Reach a low enough altitude where it's safe to jump. Crawlers ahead. Don't stop. Shoot and run. Stay in the middle. Watch out for gaps.
Didn't come all this way to get killed now. Move faster!
trying to shake us off!
What's that sound? Did it work? Is this the right place?
Let's try this again. Spartan Jameson locked to Sierra 117. Please